We talk a little bit about this parts work and how there's different voices, and then kind of go into a couple of examples like the one I just started about
Yeah.
how that works dynamically within our brain.
Yes, totally. Well, just to say, first of all, this perspective on human beings is spreading rapidly because it's so effective. It's called internal family systems, or IFS, and more easily called parts work, like you just referred to it as. And what's so helpful about it is that it allows us to create change really rapidly by relating to these different sort of selves that we all seem to embody. And I'm not talking about, dissociative identity disorder or multiple personality disorder. I'm talking about every healthy psyche has multiple parts to it. And this notion goes way back. There's Egyptian hieroglyphs that have a parts dialogue on ancient tombs. Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato all talked about parts. Socrates said it best. And actually, it pertains to the food idea, like that you just mentioned. Socrates said, "One mind cannot both want and not want at the same time. Therefore, we are all at least two." And
Yeah.
so, just bringing up this idea that there's different parts of us. So, in Bright Line Eating, we invoke this parts notion to help people heal at really, really deep levels. Anyone really who wants to be healthy, I would wager, even a 3 on the susceptibility scale of food addiction, like you, Alan, will have developed some version of these parts, the food indulger part and the food controller part. The food indulger says some version of, hey, why not? It's a special occasion, it's an important day, or I deserve it, or I feel like eating, or whatever, and gives us license to indulge a bit, right? Whatever that means to
Yeah.
us.
It's the
Or a
devil.
lot.
It's the devil on this shoulder and the
Totally.
angel on this shoulder. And they're like, go
Totally.
ahead, come on, have a no, no, no. You said you were going to do
Right.
this.
And the angel is the food controller that's trying to manage it, right? The food manager. And we have different versions of it. Some people just have a healthy version that's like, you don't want to do that because you'll feel a little yucky tomorrow morning, and you're getting up early for a run, and some people have a really perfectionistic and wickedly critical food controller that's really mean, or really sets up a high standard that's almost impossible to live to, right? Super perfectionistic. But anyway, most of us have some version of that angel on the shoulder that's saying no, no, no. And what we get into in the book Resume is we also introduce people to their authentic self, their highest self. I don't mean self like ego self. I mean self as in grounded, centered self. You're there when you're calm, clear, connected, curious, compassionate, right? Like in that kind of place, you can make decisions for yourself that are really empowered and not really driven by either of those voices. I think that's a really interesting awareness from this perspective, is you're not actually trying to create a world where you're always siding with the angel, with the food controller. You're trying to settle into a truer version of yourself that is actually a step back from the control, right? Anyway, yeah, it's something we get into in the book a lot, is what's the inner work you have to do in order to sort of transcend the polarization between the food indulger and the food controller. Because for people who are high on the food addiction susceptibility scale, it has become a full-on war.